Alright, hello again everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a full tutorial on how to install the newer 1.8.3 through 1.8.7 Minecraft servers for Bukkit and Spigot. This is going to be a quick tutorial, so if you need to, pause and go back or ask questions in the comments section if need be. First thing you're going to want to do is check with your host company for whatever internet provider you're using. See if you even have the capability of running a public server by checking your port forwarding. Usually it'll be found under security or some sort of range forwarding area, or under a gaming or apps area. Make sure it's the range forwarding. So as you can see, I've set mine, but if you need to, I'll show you. You set it to your local IP address, which can be found, well, depends on the computer you're using. Make sure your start and end point are 25565 unless you have another server running. Then you'll need to change that accordingly. So once you've done that and you've set all that up, you can come over to the subdomains link that I'll provide. Go ahead and log in, set up your subdomain accordingly. It'll give you an option of domains, or you can go to many more available and do the public registry. Set your subdomain name, your local IP address, which you can do by just searching for IP. Get your public IP address, put it in there, type in the code, save it, and you're usually ready to go. If you have any more issues with this, you can look it up at another time or ask me directly. Next thing you're going to need, first of all, is your build tools. Come here and get the latest version of your build tools. You can save this to your desktop. Once it's saved there, go ahead and get the GitHub, or just get Mac or Windows. I'll show you how to do either one. Save that. This one you're going to need to run. So once it's finished downloading, hit run. Follow my path here directly. The only thing you really need to change is use Git from the Windows command prompt. The rest is self-explanatory. Once that's done, hit finish. You can close out of this. You can close out of both of these, and over here you'll have your build tools. Right click on the build tools, hit get bash. Alright, and what you'll do here is, at least for us, we're going to use this code right here. You can use either 1.8.3 or anything in between up to 7, because that's the latest version we have. So we're going to use 7. Over here, where the $sign is, after the green and yellow text, you're going to type in that information right there. And I'm going to use the latest version for the sake of the video. Alright, and it's going to load all this information that's going to take a little while to load. So be patient with me, and I'll show you at the end. Alright, congratulations, everything's downloaded. So now you can close out of this, minimize this for the moment. Come over here, you have two options. You have Spigot 1.8.7 and craftbukkit 1.8.7. I'm going to go ahead and tell you craftbukkit is working better as of the moment. So go ahead and create your new folder, name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine server 2.0. The reason I'm going to do that is because I already have a server folder. So here I'm going to rename my craftbukkit to just craftbukkit. If I can spell. Once you do that, go ahead and drag it into there. Over here you'll see that I've already typed out another thing on here that has nothing to do with the Git. This. You can change this from 1 to 2 gigabytes of RAM, or, however many you think you need. I'd suggest no more than 2 for the amount of plugins we're using. And if you think you need more than that, you should really look into that. See how much you need for however many plugins you have. So go ahead and hit all files, start.bat. You're going to come to your desktop, find our server 2.0 folder, and save it in there. Okay? Now go ahead and open up that server 2.0 folder and start that craftbukkit up. And don't worry, it will close out, but that's because you have to accept the EULA terms. Alright? So come over here, set our EULA to true, meaning that you accept. Alright? We're going to start our server back up. Alright, and now that we're done, what you're going to do is you can go ahead and minimize this for the moment. We're going to open up our server folder in that Notepad++. You can change the MOTD if you want. I'm going to type out the code for any color that you want. And then here you put, the color code from Bukkit. So I put C, but, you don't have the parentheses. I put that there for effect. I'm going to call it the Diamond MMO Test Server. Alright, and then I'm going to change the player limit to 10 because with the type of server I have, that's the maximum I want. And that's something you need to look into. Alright, set your difficulty. Make sure PvP is as you want it to be, whether you want it whitelisted. Go ahead and turn it and make sure that it's online mode true, which is, where is that? Right there. Alright, and then everything else is pretty much as you need it to be, unless you need to change the server port to the server port that you have on your computer or whatever. Alright, now you can close those out. Now we're going to start on plugins. We're going to go in order. We're going to get Essentials. Alright, and we're just going to save that to our Server 2.0 folder in the plugins. Alright, we're also going to get the chat. Alright, and we're going to save the chat to there as well. Alright, the next thing we're going to want to get is our group manager. Log in as guest, unless you have an account. I don't. You can just save this to the desktop real quick. Show in folder. Open up our other folder with the plugins. Open that up. Drag this into our plugins folder. Alright. The next thing we're going to get is MCMMO. Get the latest one from Spigot, which I'll have the link to as well. It says it's not free, but they have to give it to you free, so there you go. But I would suggest donating if you have the option to do so. Alright, go ahead and get the last build. This is the one with the UUIDs, which is very imperative. Alright. And now that you have that, let's go ahead and get our world edit and world guard. Okay. And world guard is like group manager. It comes in one of those zip folders. So we're just going to save that to the desktop again. Open up that folder. Go to our other folder. Go over here. Open up world guard and drag that plugin in there. Alright, so when you load it up, you should have 6 plugins. Alright, we're going to stop our server. Alright, we're going to come over here. We're going to start it up. Alright, and go ahead and check and make sure all those plugins are there. Now for the plugins, we have, like we were saying before, really the only ones we need to set up are Group Manager and Essentials. Group Manager is going to be our first one. You can come over here to World Groups. Alright, and default, you can set the prefix if you'd like. I'm just going to set it to a simple one. So let's see. Let's do regular brackets and default color of yellow. Alright. We're going to set this same as the last one, only with a different color and name here. Alright, and then our owner, alright, and if you want more detailed information on how to set this up, I have a video that covers the entire group manager. But just for the sake of the video, I'll go ahead and add the normal, simple permissions that we use for this. Give me 1 second. Alright, and here what you'll see is a list of some of the commonly used ones, which are back on death, balance related ones, the different build types, the clearing of the inventory, the different home commands, ender chest, which I like to give to them, but that's more of a, specialty perk for those who donate for you. Mailing, messaging, paying, recipe, which is also kind of a special one, but that's up to you. Pinging, building permissions, like we were talking about earlier, the ability to use signs, the ability to read rules, the spawn, the TPA, and the warps. So if you need to, slow this down and read that, but otherwise just save it. The rest of your groups, I hope you trust your moderator and admins enough to give them operator. If you don't, I mean, you probably shouldn't have them as staff on your server. Honestly, I only do people I know in person, but that's up to you. Anyways, to continue, you're done with that for now. Now let's do a quick overview of our essentials. Okay, come into the configuration here, set this as you prefer it. I like that. 25. And like I was saying before, I have an entire video on this with detailed information about it, such as the kits. You'll want to watch that video for the kits if you want to create your customized one. Also for the enabled sign usage. Same with any of these messages that you want to set. Unsafe enchantments, I always set that to true. Let's see what else we have here. The number of homes with the permission node that you can watch my other video for that as well. Economy needs to be set to 0 for minimum money. You can set the max if you'd like. Chat, this is an important one. You need to set the default format for that. Let's see this here. Or just, copy that one. And you should be set there. If we have any issues, we can come back, save, and reload again. It happens sometimes. Alright, and down here you can set this customize as you want. Alright. And you'll set the default kit that you want them to start with. So if you make a new one, again, that's in that other video that I have. Alright, go ahead and save that. You can come back here. Let's confirm that we have everything. MCMMO is self-explanatory and self-setup. World Edit, World Guard are also the same way. I'll show you how to set the group permissions and information like that in Group Manager via command in the game, because it's much harder to do it by the user file. Everything else should be in working order as you need it to be. Alright, and let's go ahead and save our server, stop the server, and then we'll restart our server for us to see. Alright, and as we mentioned, we're going to be starting in 1.8.7. Let's make sure our server is started. And if you experience any specific issues with getting your server to show up, as for that, you're just going to want to make sure that your IP hasn't changed, that you don't have a dynamic IP address. Also, something you want to do ahead of time is opt yourself in the console. Go ahead and play. And I've already added mine here down at the bottom, like we talked about beforehand. I changed that custom IP address, but if you want them to have your public IP address in port, that's your decision. Alright, let's go ahead and come in here. Alright, and as we can see, our world has loaded. Now let's check if we have the correct plans. Of course, you need a permission for this, but you say, oh, but I thought you're opt. You're right, I am, but some permissions don't even matter. Doesn't matter if you're opt or not, you can't use them. So what we're going to do is manu add permission. That's user add. But actually, let's do mang. Mang is man group. So man user or man group. So mang add or delete. That's if you want to delete something. Add permission. You can use permission. Or variable. That's another one you can do. But we're going to do permission. We're going to add it to the admin group, because I'll be an admin on this server. And it's going to be craftbukkit.command.plugins. Alright. Now, we're going to promote ourselves by doing man promote. You can also do man demote. This is for group manager, by the way. And promote the name of the player into the group. I'm going to admin. And if we put in the chat, you can see we have our name as green because I'm opt, otherwise it would be in white. And then we had our prefix set for the admin group. Alright? Now, I'm an admin, okay? So I should have the permission to do /pl. Alright, our plugins are there. Let's go ahead and test the wand. Alright. That works for world edit. Stuff. Alright, MCMMO, that's something almost everybody knows about, so get like your herbalism skill up by breaking grass and stuff like that. Or if you start digging in the dirt and things like that, you'll get your excavation skills, your herbalism, your mining skills, and that's basically MCMMO. And we set our world guard stuff, you know, we got all kinds of stuff in here. And that's the basic kit for starting up your server. That's it, and thank you for watching. I hope this helped.